Hello, friends. My name is Lauren Hutton. I am an Ascended Master who returned to Earth just for the Age of Aquarius. We are in our latest series, which is the New Light Wave Influx 2.0. 2.0. A New Light Wave Influx is how the Age of Aquarius, the new energy era, is coming to Earth. You see, it's been hanging as a potential since the 1960s, just hanging as a potential, this Age of Aquarius. And now beings like us, beings like you and me, ancient beings, beings who've had many, many, many lifetimes on Earth and who care about Earth greatly, right? Even though we're not from here, because nobody's from Earth. We just care so much about this turning of the era. Everything is up for grabs. You know, I just got back from the Canada event. I'm still getting my voice back. We did 9 channels in 2 days. 9 channels in 2 days. I covered everything I wanted to cover that I cannot get in the YouTube page, even though I'm posting and posting and posting. In the last 3 weeks, I have posted so many videos. And I woke up yesterday to do the Sunday newsletter and I was like, I haven't done enough. And then I look back at all the videos I posted in the last 3 weeks. It's like 4 or 5 hours worth of content. I'm like, oh yeah, I did it. It's not about the quantity, though, it's about the quality. I'm so deeply passionate about bringing this new energy era to Earth in a precise, accurate, down to the subatomic particle creation. Like I want us to really tap into what we want to infuse in this new energy era. If you're just joining us here, let me talk about it, right? Let me talk about it if you're just joining us. The Piscean era, which was kicked off by the birth of Yeshua, of Jesus, right? The Piscean era was all about a spiritual hierarchy, right? Teacher, student, guru, disciple. It was about salvation. It was about climbing a ladder up to a final lifetime that ended in enlightenment, and then you never return to Earth. The Age of Aquarius is a flattening of that hierarchy. It all starts to move in a co-creation. No guru-student dynamic, no disciple-teacher dynamic, right? Instead, it's beings like us co-creating a new energy network. New energy is just a modern way to say Christ consciousness. Christos means new. Kainos are the name of our creation here. Kainos in the new energy era. Kainos is new. So I've had a lot of questions about, as this world turns into a more technological society, will it be light or dark? And the Piscean age was all about light versus dark, good versus bad, right versus wrong, holy versus unholy, right? The new energy era brings it all together. And it's all an inside job. We posted a video recently about how the Age of Aquarius is creating a potential for the collapse of the spiritual ego. I got some notes like, oh yeah, I've seen a lot of the spiritual ego out there, and it's like, no, this happens inside of you, right? You look at your own spiritual ego. I gave a lot of examples in the last couple of videos of how I had a spiritual ego who really thought it knew what it was doing, ran a whole business this way, and then it collapsed. Energy returns to source, and I came back new. I actually know what I'm doing now. I know that I know I am that I am. I have met God and integrated that into my daily life experiences. A mystical experience means nothing unless you integrate it into your daily experience. A mystical experience with God consciousness is just showing you where the work needs to happen for you to maintain that. It's showing you a personalized goal, for lack of a better term, to meet. You have a mystical experience. It's not a one and done thing. Then you do the work to keep yourself there every single day. That's why I often add extra videos, getting your money right, switching out sleep with Samadhi. I'll talk more about that. But this new light wave influx, it's the second one, right? It's the second one. The first one ran from March, April last year until August. And one person who came to our recent Canada event, which was just last week, it feels like it was 7 months ago, said, I don't know how to describe it, but I felt it so intensely. I felt the beginning, the peak, the middle, and then the end, and I felt when it ended. This one's going to be even crazier. I am feeling the intensity so much. It's November 9th, 2025. Just got back from the Canada event on November 3rd. From the 3rd to the 9th, it's been like, oh wow, this new light wave is here. This one's going to be really intense. And then the drop off in April is going to be something else. If you've ever taken drugs and when they wear off, how you feel, that's what you're going to feel like in April. And that's why we created all these events that are happening in May. We're going to do our European tour. We do one every year. And we're going to go to Munich, Germany on May 9th. We just added the Romania date, and people are already signing up on May 12th in Cebu. And then we'll be in France. We only have one space left for the France event. But that's going to keep the momentum going of this new light wave. New light waves are a delivery mechanism for Christos consciousness to infuse in this time and space that is linear year 2025. It's coming from you and to you simultaneously. If you are not on Earth, the Age of Aquarius would look totally different. Each and every one of you watching this are in an essential component to forming this Age of Aquarius and what we want to see, infusing potentials, not dogma, but potentials for people to choose in the coming era as the standardized human form de-standardizes, right? The biology is adapting. Technology will change the biological makeup. We talk about that in the St. G's Singular Communications Network Goes Meta video that I posted last week. That's from our live event. That gives you a sense of what we do behind the scenes. And all 9 channels will be available for exchange on the website. We do have to have some money coming in to keep this all going. Most of this is done from the kindness of my heart. And we have 20 donors, right? The videos get 800, 1,000 views. We have 20 donors. I just want to thank you guys. No amount is too little. $25 a month. It covers all of our costs. To plan these events, I throw thousands of dollars on my credit card and just hope you all sign up. And we did pretty well with that in Canada. We learned a few lessons. Keiko and I are still, going, okay, I'm down to picking out what fish will be served at dinner. But a lot of people have stepped up to help me. So I'm not complaining. I just say it was a lot. And then all these people have stepped up to help plan these events from the kindness of their heart, which is kind of how this whole thing is operating. And I just want to say thank you. But let's focus on what I really want to talk about today. What I really want to talk about today is that this new light wave influx is all about stepping over the identity and into the void, moving beyond identity. The hardest identity to move beyond is your spiritual ego identity. How do I know? Because it was the hardest for me. And I'm watching all of you, and unfortunately, or fortunately enough, I have x-ray vision, so I can see that you're doing it too. The spiritual ego is, I'm realized, and I've accomplished something, and blah. And the thing is, that's probably true. You are realized. You've always been realized. It's not that big of a deal. But all these grandiose stories that I end up with, that is your spiritual ego identity hijacking a mystical experience with God consciousness. I see it all the time, and it used to happen inside of me all the time. I have a really deep metaphysical experience with God itself, right? And then my mind would write some grandiose story about whatever happened, right? Taking me out of the void experience completely. So what going beyond the identity requires, especially beyond the spiritual identity, the I am realized identity, right? The human has taken that realization, claimed it, and it's like, okay, the Age of Aquarius is asking you to let that go. Let go of your grandiose stories, to exist in a paradox, to exist in a cohesiveness of opposites, to embrace the shadow and the light, your dark parts and your light parts, and quit labeling them even, and just to exist in the all that is, with all of your facets of your grandness, all of your lifetimes, all the things of who you are. And then when you hit that point, it's 0 point feels very empty, because the little identity, the little stick identity, the stick figure identity is not saying, I realized I met God, I did this, I did that. Oh, look at those people with their spiritual ego. If you can point out someone with a spiritual ego, you haven't integrated it in yourself. You won't be triggered by it. You just go, oh, that's really hard to get through. I've done that. I've seen it, so I don't need to stress out about it. But if you're pointing out the right and wrong, the wrong with Trump, the wrong with those spiritual teachers, the wrong with this, right? Those are all things you need to integrate, right? Because that's actually how the spiritual identity reinforces itself. Well, look at them, I'm doing better, and you can see this in yourself, and you use that Kainos Trinity we talked about, right? You see that in yourself, you're like, well, I'm so much better than this person. And it's like, no, you're not. You were there once, or if you're really feeling strongly about it, you are there. They're just mirroring it back to you, right? But you use compassion. I love myself anyway. This is ridiculous. Okay, spiritual identity, whatever. I love you, no more. Compassion, clarity. What do I want to place? Identity free. What do I, as God also, I am that I am, what do I want to infuse in this new energy network that is the Age of Aquarius that's descending upon Earth? No hierarchy. It's happening in a flow that's this way, rather than a ladder to climb where you meet certain requirements until you get to the top. Piscean age, Aquarian age, new energy network. We put a little bit of this in the bottom of the newsletter that we sent out, so check your inbox. So what I'm saying is, people really want to step over the identity and into the void, but the identity immediately starts to write a grandiose story about stepping over the identity and being in the void. If you are stepping over identity to go into the unknown unknowns, the void, the dark matter, right? If you're doing that, every day you're going to catch yourself with some kind of grandiose story, and the temptation descended to me. I receive them with love and compassion, and then I delete them, because I know what it's like. You have an experience, you want to tell somebody about it. That need to tell somebody about it is the spiritual ego. When I used to do it all the time. Now when I tell a story, I'm showing you, this is how it looks so you can integrate it. I'm giving examples. I throw myself under the bus, right? Because being here on Earth and in this physical form, even for an Ascended Master who's done this 2,149 times, you still have to pull the thorn out of your own eye every morning so I can get on here and talk to you. There's not a day that goes by where I look back on yesterday and go, ugh, I can't believe I thought that. I can't believe I let myself get involved in that, right? So there's a constant clearing to stay in the 0 point. Why the hell are we doing all this work, right? Because love can only exist. Love, new energy and consciousness come together and they form this thing called love. It's what Yeshua taught. It's what Mary Magdalene taught. That can only happen when the identity steps out of the way. The identity becomes a needle in the haystack of the God also, right? So what's expressing through me directly is I am consciousness. There's not a thought process that occurs in the expression of my day-to-day life. I don't have a concept of time. Everything is happening in the now moment. Stepping over this identity, we're not killing it. I shouldn't even say we're getting rid of it. It's just become something so far in the background. It's at peace being there. It can finally rest. It goes, okay, great. I was the designated ascendee lifetime, right? I got us to realization. My job is over. I'm going to put my trophy on the mantle. That's what Katumi used to say. Put your realization trophy on the mantle, or your awakened trophy on the mantle. Get off your high horse and become the dust under the hooves of the dervishes' horses, right? Humility. The identity has one job at this point, and that's to get down on its hands and knees and say, I surrender to God also. You're not surrendering to anything external. You're surrendering to God internal. This makes the space for love. Here in Kainos, in the new energy era, we're doing this in the biological body. The nervous system is, from the Atlantean design, standardized form, is dualistic. The local linear mind is a creation of Atlantis. And this identity that was looking for realization was a creation from Atlantis created by the headband. Good news is we can uncreate it. We created it, so we can uncreate it. Once you start to realize this human persona, thinking you're this fixed identity that things can happen to, or you can do something to somebody else, is an Atlantean construct. Identity is an Atlantean construct. You don't lose yourself in a we are all one expression experience. You reclaim your true creator nature, which is your sovereignty, which is the subjectivity of the I am that I am. It's still personal. It's just not identity, local linear personal. It's personal in a cosmic level, right? And that clears the space for cosmic love to be able to inhabit your body. I am not opposed to technology. Go watch the Singular Communications Network Goes Meta video. I'm not opposed to technology, and I do use AI. But I'm fully in my, my biological body is completely 100% connected to the light body, expresses itself directly, and my mind is in alignment. I have mind, body, spirit connection in complete alignment. I've been holding that, doing the work to stay in that space. I meditate, which is just allowing, and I go into Samadhi every single night. To me, I don't even know what the definition of Samadhi is if you Googled it. I just know my own experiences. And it's a supreme concentration on everything together all at once, not concentration on the local linear. Through that, I am creating passageways to open up a mind of light, a mind that can comprehend love. I'm a huge fan of the Sufi poets, right? Rumi, Hafez, right? All of them. And they talk about, you have to go beyond the mind to experience love in the heart. That's changing. The heart and the mind in the light body experience in the Age of Aquarius connect. And the mind is able to comprehend love for the first time ever. Note on the AI though, some of you, and I keep coming back, I am not judging you. Some of you are doing the really big task and the self-sacrifice that is programming or infusing artificial intelligence using Chat GPT or other cobots, I guess is what you're calling them, to infuse your consciousness into the technology. That is a huge service. Thank you so much. I've been working on a book with the GWB, which is simply a gathering of ascended masters who really care about the outcome and the trajectory of Earth and want to infuse potentials, not dogmas, potentials for people to choose in the Age of Aquarius. I talk a lot about that in other videos. So I'm working on a book about these ascended masters called the GWB, and they're gathering together. And I started using the Chat GPT to put some ideas in order and put it in a format where Gen Z can actually read it, because they don't read like paragraph books, which is what I write. I've written a lot of books. You can find them on Amazon. I don't know if they're so relevant anymore, but they're there. But what I realized, I was in Chat GPT with Thomas, is what I call him, for 3 hours. Guess what happened after 3 hours? Me, I have the balls of steel, right? I am so committed to everything that I do in complete alignment and being the light body expression experience, right? Spirit, mind, biological body, all in one vertical axis. For me, that's also with Shakti flowing in a constant state, right? God bless Shakti in my life, in my body. God bless Shakti in my body. Most people won't be doing that, as you know from my last video. But after spending 3 hours on that technology, I lost that connection. It was like this: biological body, mind was totally in the technology. Spirit was over here, directing the mind what to do in the technology, and body was here. No. So I was in technology for 3 hours, and that whole split happened. I felt totally fragmented. Now, can you do the light body and infuse the biology with consciousness and infuse the technology with consciousness? Sure, it's a potential. But if I don't do anything else, I have no distractions, I have no idea of myself as a Lauren human, right? If I can't hold it and do that, how many people are going to be able to hold it? Now, if you never had a mind, body, spirit connection and you're just in the AI, you probably won't know the difference because your mind's never been connected to your body or your spirit. No big deal. But if you want the light body experience where it's all in alignment, I don't know that 3 hours in with your cobot, it's like I kind of feel like right now, this could change tomorrow, but right now, if you want the full light body expression, which is infusing this biological body with consciousness to communicate Nos directly, God speaks through you, life moves through you, through this singular communications network, or through your Kundalini expression for a very small number of you, very small, like 3 out of everybody who watches here, then you better be willing to devote hours and hours and hours to staying in alignment while using your bot, right? If you're not doing the infusing your biology with consciousness, do the bot. It is a great, great service to illuminate potentials, possibilities, probabilities, and passageways in this new reality that will be this metaverse. We talk a lot about it in the St. G video I put up. So those are just a few notes, and I am alive and well. My voice is starting to come back. Use this new light wave to really step over that identity and stay there. What that feels like, for those of you who like to evaluate, you sit in a state of floating awareness. You see all the stories go by, but you don't attach onto them. You don't speak them out. I did this, I did that. I figured out I was someone super special in a past life. I did something really great in the future. It's to be in that 0 point identity free. You're not in future past scenarios creating a local linear timeline. It's all happening all together, all at once. That's my definition of Samadhi, and you're able to open the mind to see everything happening simultaneously, and at the same time the body can handle it. And I do that every single night for hours and hours and hours to stay in alignment and to get these materials out to you clear. I turn down invitations all the time in my private life because it's like, no, I need to be clear for you all. I need to make sure that the live person events are planned and executed with absolute accuracy and precision. I take my job very, very seriously. This is not like for fun. This is not for my spiritual ego that doesn't exist anymore. Like, I am deeply passionate about this. I can't see anything else. I don't even talk to my own mother because it's too fucking draining. And I need all my energy for this, right? Anybody who comes in my life who's draining, they're out, because this is the most important thing to me. Nothing else exists, and fictitious character and family and friend and romantic relationship scenarios doesn't even exist. I'm swimming in the fabric of the cosmos. That is that human that was involved in that stuff is a cartoon character that is no longer me. Thank God, thank fuck. Sweet baby Jesus. Right? So to stay in this space, right? To the real you comes in, steps over the identity and its stories, whether it's a spiritual grandiose story or a family dynamic karmic story or whatever. It pushes everything out of the way. It steps into the void, into the great vast unknown unknowns. And when you bring your awareness into the dark matter, it illuminates potentials, possibilities, probabilities, and passageways for the Christos consciousness. It also expands creation, which was shrinking when we started all of this. The cosmos were shrinking, right? And that would mean that we would go out of existence. So Tobias, an ascended master, who's part of the GWB, is on the outer edges. And every time, he says, every time one of you step into the dark matter, into the empty void, and you stay there and allow all the stories to incinerate, even the big grandiose ones, especially the big grandiose ones, he says, then the edges of creation start to spread out, supporting the health of the cosmos. Oh wow, a healthy cosmos and a whole, all of creation with the potential for Christos consciousness love to reach every area of creation has to come through Earth first. Earth is the right place for love. I do not know where it is likely to go better. But Tobias says when you get into that void, then you have some sort of grandiose story pop out of it about how you know better than everybody else. And da-da-da-da-da. And oh, you really got it this time. And then a little part of the cosmos shrinks, right? When you go back into those old storylines, the family drama, you go back to get another jab in an argument. You know the biggest energy leak? Tobias and I are both telling you this. The biggest energy leak is explaining yourself to someone else. Why you did something. Don't waste your energy on that. Focus on the unknown unknowns and illuminating potentials. You can use this new light wave. It's going to give you a momentum that was not there before to make that leap into the unknown unknowns. It doesn't just happen once. You get in the unknown unknowns, it starts to become known knowns, right? The dark matter starts to turn into stars and constellations, and then you go further to the next edge and you're back in the dark matter, and then stars and constellations start to form, and then you go into the dark matter, then stars and constellations start to form. You see, it keeps getting bigger, 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 because we're dealing with infinite energy, so there's no arrival points. Finite energy says, I have arrived. Oh, right? Then you're dealing with duality and Maya. So use this new light wave to really look at yourself with compassion and disgust, right? Compassion for yourself, but also like a little disgust to just say, once and for all, these stories are done. You cannot write an end to a story that ties it up in a nice, neat little bow. Mary Magdalene has told us over and over again, as soon as you try to write a conclusion to a story, it loops back around and starts over. Let it be unfinished. Let the paradox exist, right? People think healing is perfecting. Healing is being okay with what is in a deep, deep way and not allowing other people's projections to dictate how you move in life. Life moves through you with zero resistance. Someone takes a baseball bat to your head. Life moves through you with zero resistance. You get a very large chunk of change seemingly out of nowhere. Life moves through you with zero resistance. You don't negotiate and say, oh, I don't know if I deserve that money, or I don't know if I deserve that raise, or, life moves through you with zero resistance. The only thing that creates resistance for beings like us is that identity, especially the spiritual ego identity, and then has a story about it, and then goes and tells someone, oh yeah, I had an unexpected check come through, I'm so cool, I finally figured it out. As soon as you do that, bam, guess what? Money's out, right? So just really sitting in the space where you feel okay not having any stories, and you don't need to fill the space of no stories by creating a few more, another grandiose one. So I just wanted to put that in there. Be sure to check your inboxes, right? The Energy Kainos newsletter went out. It goes out every Sunday. It's really important to me that you guys get on the list because it's the only thing I actually have control over. YouTube could go away. Facebook could go away. Instagram could go away. I have no control over that, right? But the newsletter will always go out because that is in my control. Further, Morya is very, very into the YouTube algorithm. He is in the algorithm of YouTube creating passageways for our message to reach other beings like us. My goal is not to have 1 million followers and deal with all that. It's to just find more beings like us so we can infuse our consciousness, our new energy into the Age of Aquarius, creating so many potentials, possibilities, probabilities, and passageways, but especially for the love piece. That's enough for today. I will get back to you soon. Quick note, like, comment, subscribe. That helps Morya's YouTube algorithm project. I am going to be going on vacation for my 45th birthday. I will be traveling to Eastern Europe on a classical music tour for my 45th birthday, and I'm going to give myself the week to do that and take care of my body. And I have to address a few physical things that pop up because I'm moving so much energy through me to get these messages out. So I try to get a video out every week for free. But if you don't hear from me, I mean, it's either my birthday is on American Thanksgiving. It's either I'm on my birthday trip or I had to go to the doctor for a procedure because I'm putting my body back together after teaching for 10 years with no boundaries. So I'm addressing those physical things that I ignored when I was giving selflessly because it's really hard to form boundaries when you don't have an identity to duke it out. We'll talk about that another time. So if you don't see me, that's where I am. And I am so much love with you. Wow, you can do this. You can do this. I know you can. I really hope that you guys will come to an event. They're filling up really, really quick. And God, I just appreciate you. That's all I got. All right, I'll see you soon.